stopped and printed something else because I got to thinking about friendship this afternoon. I'm going out with some girlfriends tomorrow, and it was really funny. Um, we decided last month we need to get together a minimum of once a month, and last month they they both know how I am, and it's winter in Fairbanks, and I shut down, and I've been stressed, and we just came out of the holidays, the first time after losing my mom, and it's just been a difficult winter. And last month they were like, "We're not asking you, we're telling you. We'll be at your house. We're gonna pick you up. We're going out." Well, they wanted to go do something tomorrow that I didn't want to go do, and I'm like, "Y'all go ahead. I'll go out and have dinner and drinks, and you guys can go to the show by yourselves. I don't really want to go." And they both said, "No, no, we won't go without you." And they're such good friends. I was like, "You guys, I don't want to ruin your night. If you want to go, go. Don't, I don't like people that have to cater to my illness. I don't like to cater to my health issues, so I don't like other people that have to cater to them." But they were both just so sweet, and they said, "No, this just means we have more time to sit at the pump house and have some cocktails." So got me really thinking about friendship. And I've also been thinking about it because it's getting close to time for my girls' trip to Texas. So, and by getting close to time, meaning I need to start making plans because I gotta go. I need my girls. I need my girls. But anyway, are you a bad friend? I'll be honest. I'm not a very good friend. I'll own it. I know it. I'm aware of it. I try to do better, but I'm not a great friend. So let's talk about, are you a bad friend, and how you can be a better friend. This information is from, who the hell is it from? Selfstairway.com. You're a bad friend if you're a projector. Projectors assume everyone has the same bad qualities that they do. Are you a gossip? Then you're going to assume that everybody else is a gossip too. I try really hard. I am not perfect. I am just a human being, and I can be petty like anybody else. I try so hard not to engage in gossip because it's just so self-destructive, I think. And you know what? The people who are going to gossip with you, truly, they're going to gossip about you as soon as your damn back is turned, and you know it. So I try. Again, I'm not perfect, but I try not to engage in it very often. Number 2, you are a bad friend if you blame the other person for everything. You know what? Sometimes shit is just your fault. It just is. You have to accept that. It amazes me how many grown adults cannot accept responsibility for something. Actually, one of my bosses, I have 3. That's a whole nother conversation. But one of them I get along with really, really, really well, and he got mad at me a few years ago because there were mistakes made, but nobody else was stepping forward. So I was like, "Fine, I'll accept the responsibility." And he's like, "But you didn't do it." And I said, "Well, the only way it's going to get fixed is if somebody accepts responsibility and steps up to the plate. So I'll do it." And we had a very long conversation about that. But I try to accept responsibility when I do something wrong. But you know what? Sometimes we're blind. Sometimes whatever we're dealing with gets us so wrapped up that you're blinded. Sometimes your behavior. I've been told lately that I've been really cranky, and you know what? I have. I haven't been. I haven't been feeling good. Well, okay, that sounds kind of funny coming from someone with chronic pain, but it's like been extra not feeling good, and it does make me cranky. Hell, you guys, night before last. I have to laugh because it's laugh or cry. I slept for 90 freaking minutes. My Fitbit is really good about tracking my sleep. I slept for, I think it was total of 94 minutes actually, but I mean, that's so ridiculous. So I forgot what the hell I was saying. I was talking about friendship and somehow got off on sleep, but I'm so damn sleep deprived. But that impacts my ability to be a good friend, because I do deal with all this crap. And it's not that I mean to cut people out of my life. Most of the time I don't, although I will. If you're a problem, you're gone. But the people that I love, I don't want to whine. I don't want to complain. So I just don't say anything. That's something I'm working on. But sometimes things are your fault. That's where I was going with the sleep thing. I don't know exactly where, but sometimes shit is just your fault. Own it. Number 3, don't be a fair weather friend. For goodness sakes, you know what I mean? You know how you feel when that person that you never hear anything from until they need a favor? Don't be that person. That is a horrible person. I shouldn't say that. They're probably going through something. They're probably wrapped up in their own stuff, but that's a horrible way to treat somebody. So don't be that person. I hope to God I'm not that person. I try not to be. Number 4, you're a bad friend if you're constantly one-upping them. If you've always had it better, always had it worse, you just always got to top somebody. You know, I have a very, very, very dear friend who does that, and I love her. I love her enough that as hard as it can be sometimes to deal with, it's like, you know what? It's just part of who she is. It's not worth arguing with her over. But you know what makes me the saddest about it? What makes it honestly the hardest for me to deal with? That attitude is from a place of insecurity. And this woman she's very smart. She's vibrant. She's a real go-getter. She's not afraid of very much in the world. She can handle her own in pretty much any situation. And she's still insecure enough that she's always got to try to top everybody. She doesn't just do it to me. She does it to everybody. But you know what? I love her enough and I recognize that it's coming from a place of insecurity. And that helps soften it a little bit. So if you're dealing with someone who does that and it's hard for you it drives you nuts, try to be charitable and remember they're feeling insecure for whatever reason. Anyway, I really didn't mean to go off on that kind of tangent, but it wasn't really tangent. Number 5, I will freely admit this is something that I struggle with. You're a bad friend if you don't listen. Most of us listen to respond. We do not listen to understand. But sometimes you just need to close your mouth, open your heart, open your ears, and let the other person speak. You know, that actually brings up a side point, guys. Sometimes when women confide in you, when we tell you things, and I know this is hard for you to accept, but we're not asking you to fix anything. If we want you to fix it, usually we'll ask you to fix it. But sometimes we just need to bitch. We just need to get something off our chest. And it's funny because I grew up with brothers. And I see men all the time and they get frustrated. So, well, just let me fix it. Sometimes things aren't fixable. Sometimes it's something we absolutely don't want or need you to fix. We just want you to listen. Anyway, number 6. You're a bad friend if you don't keep your word. Tardiness, excessive and habitual tardiness, it falls under that category. That being said, my best friend in the entire world, and we've been really close since we were young, and it's one of those friendships where we can go months without speaking to each other and then pick up the phone and it's like we just saw each other yesterday, which, by the way, we haven't seen each other in quite some time. She didn't live here anymore. But we used to fight all the time because she's always late. And I don't mean 15, 20 minutes late. I mean 45, 60, 90 minutes late. And we got into a big fight years ago about it. And I said, you know what? That's very selfish of you. It's very self-centered of you. And she's like, how do you figure? I said, you're trying to control the situation. You're trying to control my time. Now, that may or may not be true. That's what I felt at the time, at that point in my life. But I also know her well enough. It was never meant in a malicious way. She's a daydreamer. She gets sidetracked easily. That's part of why I like her so much. That's part of why I love her so much. Is she does have this great daydreaming personality and she does get lost in thought. And there's just so many funny stories that we have over the years of things that she's done because she gets lost in thought. But I also got so fed up with it that I told her, if you're more than 15 minutes late, I'm leaving. And this was before everybody had cell phones. I'd just leave. I didn't have it. And one day I got home and she's standing there waiting for me. And she's like, where'd you go? Like, I was just driving around. She's like, you left me here waiting and you didn't even have anywhere to go. I was like, well, you left me here waiting. So what's the difference? Anyway, I still love her. We're still friends. I still give her crap all the time about her tardiness. So now we've gone over some of the things that you may not be doing so well out. What can you do to be a better friend? If you sense something is wrong, ask, and ask immediately. Now don't go crazy. Don't be pushy. If they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to talk about it. But if they don't want to talk about it, make sure that they know, hey, I'm not going to push you, but if you want to talk, I'm always here for you. I'll always listen. And remember, you got to listen with a closed mouth and an open heart. Possibly an open mind, depending on the topic, but that's never really a bad idea. But you got to truly listen. Don't listen to respond. Listen to understand where they're coming from. Number 2, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. Read the room, as they say. There's a time for cutting up and being a smartass. And if you know me very well at all, you know I have no problem cutting up and being a smartass. But you know what? You got to pay attention to the mood. You've got to understand that there's a time to be a smartass and a cut up. And there's a time when you just need to straighten up. You need to behave more somberly. Number 3, you need to be there if they need you. I have a girlfriend. I talked about her a little bit the other night. She's amazing. She's amazing. Now, she has a lot. She's pretty empathic. And I'm a lot. Between my health issues and all that other crap, I'm a lot. And I know it. And I don't lean on her very often. But you know what? I could pick up the phone literally anytime, day or night. I could call her and say, I need you. And she'd do whatever she could to help me. That's a good friend. That's a true friend. You need to be there if someone needs you. It's hard for most of us to ask for help. Nobody likes to have to ask you for help. But you need to understand that if somebody trusts you enough to come to you in a time of need, go the extra mile. Make them feel appreciated. Make them understand. You need to recognize what an honor that is. It really is. If someone's down and they're really having a bad time and you're the person, you're the one that means enough to them that, hey, you know what? Things are going pretty south. I need someone to help anchor me and help lift me up. And you're the person they thought of? That's a huge compliment. That's a tremendous mark of honor and respect, at least in my opinion, because I don't ask very damn many people for help. Go the extra mile. Make them feel loved. Make them understand that you're happy, that you're honored to be there to help them, that you're honored that they asked you. That kind of stuff will deepen a friendship to incredible levels. Number 4. This is one I really have a hard time with. You have to make time for people. Well, of course you do. Of course you do. But you know, it's easy for me to sit home and I don't want to say I sit here and feel sorry for myself, because I don't really feel sorry for myself very often. Yeah, I do once in a while, you know. I'm human. But it's important. I'm noticing this winter more than honestly any other in my life. It's so important to have time for your friends, to make time for your friends. You have to get out of the house, for goodness sakes. You have to. Human beings, everyone likes to say, well, I don't need anybody. And you know what? You may not need very many people, but you need somebody. We're social beings. It is what it is. Don't get mad at me. I didn't make the rules. It just is what it is. We were created to be with other people. So you have to make time. You have to say yes to invitations. And you know what? At the end of the day, no matter what's going on in our lives, truly, we make time for the things that are important to us. It's truly that simple. It really is. If somebody means enough to you, you're going to make the time for them. If they don't, you won't. I always hate myself. Well, I'm just so busy. Well, okay, but that just means I'm not a priority. And that's fine. It truly is. It's none of my business what other people think of me, frankly. As long as you're not a jackass to me, I don't really care. But you make time for people that matter to you. Anyway, I could ramble on that all night, apparently. Number 5. I think I'm pretty good about this. You need to learn to apologize. Well, that comes back to owning your BS, doesn't it? That comes up to accepting responsibility. Because no matter what situation you're in, you have a tremendous amount of responsibility for where you're at. That's just a fact. Now, granted, if you're a very small child, but if you're a very small child, you ain't watching this video anyway. But you need to learn to apologize. You have to own your BS. You have to. Swallow your pride. Apologize sincerely, because people know if you're full of it. Don't say it just to say it. If you don't mean it, don't waste my time. I don't want to listen to your crap if you're not sincere. But if you are sincere, I'm one of the most forgiving people on the planet. Actually, to a fault most of the time. But you have to learn to apologize. It's the mature thing to do, frankly. And number 6, don't give up on them in their darkest hours. Or your darkest hours. Because I shut down. Life can be tough. Life can be tough for all of us. The last couple of years have been just bat crap crazy. I think we can pretty much all agree to that. But you know, your friends need to know that they can count on you, but you need to also have people around you that you can count on, that you can rely on. And if you take the steps to be a good friend, guess what? You're going to get people around you that you can rely on. The 2 ladies I'm going out with tomorrow, I could call them pretty much any time day. I wouldn't, because it would have to be a huge emergency for me to do that with anybody. But I could. And you know what? They both know they could call me. So I do have some really good friends in my life. I'm very blessed. You know, and really overall, as tough as things can be sometimes, a lot of times, I mean, I've got several chronic illnesses, but my life is not bad. I'm a pretty happy person. I'm a pretty happy person because I choose to be. I'm a pretty happy person because I have good people in my life that I can rely on, that will be there for me, that we have enough respect and love for each other that we can own our BS. We can apologize when it's necessary. We can listen to each other with an open heart and an open mind. Anyway, that is all I have for tonight. I have a raging headache. Oh, by the way, I did get in to see my doctor. I really like my migraine doctor a lot. I like my migraine doctor and my primary care physician both tremendously. And it's funny because they're good friends, which of course they are. Their personalities, I can just see them out giggling, having a ball. But I really like and respect them. And I told the migraine doctor yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I love you. I love Dr. C. I said, I hate this damn clinic. And it sucks because it used to be a small town clinic. I knew the doctor that founded the damn place was my pediatrician. I've been going there off and on since 1972. And yes, I'm that old. And it pisses me off. I mean, I told the doctor, I said, you know, I don't want to be that person, but I have been coming here pretty much my entire life. And frankly, I've spent a hell of a lot of my insurance company's money there. And I'm not asking for extra special treatment at all. I'm just asking for common courtesy. But before I brought that up, she had mentioned her patient load to me, and I was astounded. And it was a lot better when it was a small town clinic before it went corporate. But anyway, I did get my shots. He's like, I thought you fired me. I really did. I started thinking that she had fired me. I was like, I thought you fired me. And I've been trying to figure out what the hell I did that would make you fire me. And she's like, oh my gosh, I would never. And she would. We have a really good relationship. Both of my doctors, I have a good enough relationship with them that we give each other hugs at appointments. Which I'm sure somebody would say, well, that's very unprofessional, but stuff it up your tight ass because I like it. It makes me happy. You know what? It makes me feel like my opinions and my thoughts and my feelings and what I'm going through matters to them. And when you're up to your freaking eyeballs in health issues, having medical people that are compassionate and that truly, sincerely care about your health, that's everything. So anyway, that's that. I got my shots finally. You often get a rebound headache, and I felt pretty good most of the day, but I definitely have a rebound headache, so I'm going to go. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Don't forget to be a good friend, and if you have any questions about dealing with chronic illness, whether it be you or someone that you love, drop me a line on Twitter at Alaskan Courtney. I try to be very responsive. And that's why I do this stuff. You know, I would have loved when I was first diagnosed to have somebody to talk to who understood, but who didn't see themselves as a victim, because I'm not a victim. Why in the hell? I mean, it's just a random thing that happens to sometimes. You're not victimized by something like that. I guess some people are, but anyway, I'm rambling. So I'm going to go.